St. Lucia's recently validated country gender assessment gave rise to renewed calls from the Division of Gender Affairs for more attention to be paid to the issue of sex segregation in employment. That is, the uneven distribution of sexes within occupations and professional hierarchies, with very little crossover of workers into industries and jobs that don't seemingly correspond with their gender. Janie Joseph, the Director of Gender Affairs, pointed out that whilst visible progress in women's empowerment has been made, there remain significant macroeconomic disparities between men and women.
It's one thing to just see on the surface what is happening, like many women driving cars and many women being employed in various fields, even hearing of women excelling in certain fields and so on. But then when you get deeper into the data, sometimes the picture is not that complete. So in other words, we've not arrived where we want to get to as a nation, as it relates to ensuring that there's equal opportunity, and access to resources for both men and women.
One of the consultants for the country gender assessment described the issue of sex segregation in employment as a concentration of one sex within higher paying industries and the other sex within those that pay less.
What we also found is that more women are concentrated in lower paying jobs than male. Male tend to congregate mainly in the high-paying jobs like construction, finance, etc.
Nana Hesse-Payne, lead gender expert for the country gender assessment, identified socialization as the main cause of this issue.
If I'm raised to be pretty and nice and gentle and not to exert myself, obviously I will gravitate towards that, thinking also that that is the best situation for me. While if another girl is raised differently, to be adventurous, to explore every opportunity, to not limit themselves just because they don't see other women in those spaces, they would lead or grow into that sector.
Sensitization was recommended as a significant means of eliminating this gap to promote economic growth in St. Lucia.
And this is where sensitization and education needs to come into play, because if at the end of the day we want every St. Lucian to live to their fullest potential and we want the economy to grow to its best possible level, then there needs to be a shift not only in education, in mentality, but also in socialization, so that men and women can flow fluidly in the job market and be able to expand themselves and also to be able to help St. Lucia grow its economy.
In July 2020, the United Nations Development Project's Human and Economic Assessment Impact identified wage gaps in St. Lucia's economic sectors of 34% in construction, 30% in agriculture, 27% in wholesale and retail, 26% in manufacturing, 16% in accommodation and food services, and 14% in education. Nationally, men tend to enjoy 22% higher earnings than women. As this issue recurs as a concern for St. Lucia, it is hoped that national and industry growth and development plans include more interventions that bring men and women on equal footing in the job market. For Choice News Now, I am Cianna Dalsan.